So Trump, in the speech last night, brought out a young man, and basically he had survived cancer. He wanted to be a police officer. It was super moving. It was a really great moment in the speech. MSNBC, after the speech, was commenting on it. And what do you think they talked about? Did they talk about how this young man overcame cancer? No. Did they talk about how men, the great men and women who protect us every day? No. Somehow, the thing that they wanted to focus on was January 6th.
I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ. And I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
So disgusting. So disgusting. They have nothing else to talk about but January 6th. Literally, out of all the things that they could talk about as the opposition right now, the one thing that they always focus on is January 6th. 1 year after, I can remember 1 year after January 6th, I thought to myself, surely they've milked this thing as much as they can go. Surely they cannot talk about January 6th much more than they already have. It's been 4 years, folks. It has literally been 4 years since 200 people were let into the Capitol. And again, they want to bring it up every single time. And they bring it up as the same time as talking about a cancer survivor wanting to be a police officer. Like, what the heck? How does that have anything to do with January 6th? And so not only is it offensive to that boy and Americans, but it is completely tone deaf on just a political strategy level. And I think it represents a real pride in the Democrat Party right now. Generally, Democrats, if I just look over my lifetime, which granted it's been short, but I think it has been politically significant, Democrats tend to be very savvy when it comes to elections. When they lose, they tend to pivot in the direction of their constituents. But for the first time in my lifetime, and I can remember this after they lost to Donald Trump in 2016, they made a pivot and they won an election. But for the first time in my lifetime, they are digging in their heels, and by so doing, they are basically saying Americans are stupid. Or in other words, what they're doing, they could look at the loss that they had this last year, and they could say, well, we need to change in order to represent our constituents better. That's what political parties tend to do. But instead, what they're doing is the exact opposite. They're saying our constituents are evil, the American people are evil, and they need to be reprogrammed. And so I'm sorry, that is very nefarious, obviously on its face, but it's also just not a winning strategy for Democrats. And here is my unpopular opinion about all of this. I think a lot of Republicans, a lot of conservatives would disagree with me on this, but this is my unpopular opinion. And you can tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd actually be really curious to hear. I've been thinking a lot about this. I kind of want the Democrat Party to be semi-successful. I do. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but the reason why I say that is if the Republican Party just dominates, Democrats then, if they just keep dominating the Democrats, the incentives get really messed up for the Republican Party. If Republicans don't think they're going to lose elections, if they just think we've got this in the bag, the Democrats suck, they're crazy, then the people in power have less incentives to do what the people want because they think, oh, well, we can still also do some crazy and corrupt things. We'll be less crazy and corrupt than Democrats, and people will still vote for us. And then we run into a Republican Party again that becomes more liberal and more corrupt. And I personally want a strong opposition because it forces Republicans to really serve their constituents, which is the American people. And right now, Democrats are so lost. My fear is that Republican elites will think that they can do whatever the heck they want since there's no way that Democrats can really win. I hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see. This tax season, you're gonna want to file your taxes because you can actually make a lot of money. I've partnered with a business that hates the IRS as much as you do, so they fight to get you every dollar back possible. Quick Tax America. Quick Tax America has already gotten its average tax returner $3,000 back from the IRS, and they do all federal returns for only $69. It's a completely transparent price because it's their only price, no matter how complicated your taxes are. What's more, guys, they do all the work for you, unlike the big online services where you spend 4 hours collecting all your stuff and having to answer all these questions. With Quick Tax America, you just answer a few basic questions, upload your files, and schedule a 15-minute finish your return call with a tax professional, and they do all the rest of the work. Go check them out at quicktaxamerica.com, or you can go to the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.